What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, and welcome back to another episode of the Morning After Show. Tottenham Hotspur 4, Crystal Palace 1 in what was a really good performance yesterday, and really good to get 3 wins in the Premier League in a week, and that was exactly what the doctor ordered. I mean, I was so looking forward to this Morning After Show, just to wax lyrical about all of our players that were on that pitch last night. Gareth Bale, I mean, the guy is well and truly back, isn't he?
He is. With performances like he was putting in yesterday, following on from his performance against Burnley a week ago, it's so nice to see. It's what we all wanted. It's literally what we dreamed of at the beginning of the season. Now I know it's taken a while to get to this point, but now it's coming to fruition. And so we're in a bit of a dream world at the moment, watching Bale and Kane and Son all link up together in this trifecta of a forward line. It really is a dream to behold, and it just means so much more when Bale is back in full flight like he was yesterday, and he's just proving all the doubters wrong, and people saying it was finished and he was past it and everything. And clearly he just needed a run. He needed to build his fitness up, and now he's flying. He's flying at the moment. It's important, obviously, not to go overboard and completely say like he's best player in the league now again and everything. I don't know if he's up to that level just yet, but he needs to prove it consistently. But look, he can't ask for anything any more from him from the past few games. He's 6-6 now for him. He really is showing his worth, and we all knew if we could unlock that Bale potential, how lethal and how clinical and how that spark that he could provide. And it shows
world class talent,
and it showed how also last season, for most of the season, we've been so reliant on Ndombele in that centre to create for us, and he didn't even play. We rested Ndombele yesterday, but it didn't hurt us at all creatively. And that was one of the most positive things for me yesterday. The fact for me personally, I also thought we were very, very reliant on Ndombele in the centre to get up the pitch. But with Bale, Lucas, Son, Kane in that kind of form, we didn't really need that centre mid yesterday, and they did all the work for us in the attacking positions.
Yeah, that's completely right. And when you actually look to the first half of the season, we're looking for our fringe players to come in and compete, and they just weren't doing that. And now, not just in this game, but week in, week out, Europa League games, other games where players come in, everyone is like singing from the same hymn sheet now. Everyone is really putting in that 100% effort, and you can see that there's real competition for places in this squad now. There really is. Maybe not in the defensive parts of the pitch, but definitely in the attacking, in the midfield. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you got Lucas, who's coming in and playing a really good role at the moment. I really like his role of that central attacking midfield role that he's playing. He's being very, very aggressive. He's not letting the defences settle, and I think that's a big factor in the improved performances in the past 2 games at home. I think he's causing a bit of chaos, and not only that, I think he's creating space for the other attacking players as well. And his dribbling ability, when it's right through the heart of the defence, it causes panic and it causes unsettlement. Yeah. Whereas before, when he's doing it on the wing, it's okay, but it's not going anywhere.
Blind alleys,
it's kind of not threatening. Yeah. But now they can't really ignore him. Basically, they have to kind of deal with him. They have to bring extra players to deal with that dribbling ability, and that naturally is going to leave space for Bale, for Kane, for Son to do damage. And that's what we're seeing in the moment.
100%.
And also I also feel his pressing, it's a lot more intense, and our pressing is so much better when Lucas is on the pitch, because I feel like we can press just like we did again in the first half against Fulham, but it doesn't last. I feel like it's on. Dele can't press like Lucas can for 90 minutes. He can probably do it for a bit, but not like Lucas can for 90 minutes, and that's a big difference in how we sustain attacks and sustain control of the game.
And it's like Harry Kane, he can't do that pressing game for 90 minutes either, and it's so class how he can drop deep. Lucas goes forward and just presses the shit out of their defence. It's just great to see. It really is.
Yeah, I feel like he does a lot of the running as well for a lot of our forward players. He helps out from that aspect. And as much as Dele probably has more quality than Lucas just has more aspects to it. I think it helps the team more having someone like Lucas there, in terms of the intensity of the press. And I think his dribbling ability in situations where Dele would probably lose the ball or get tackled, whereas Lucas could wriggle out of 2-3 players very, very consistently. And again, Lucas showed his worth yesterday, especially with the first goal, nicking the ball off Milojojlovic right outside the penalty box, and it set us up. And I'm not comparing him to Dele to bash Dele, because I think Dele had a great game against Fulham. I'm just saying Lucas, he brings a different dimension in terms of what he can bring to that role. They offer different things. Dele would offer a moment of magic, a through ball, or something like overhead kick like he did against the Europa League. He'll do that, or arrive late in the box, like he did against Fulham. But Lucas, in terms of the team dynamic, we look a lot better with him there.
I agree, and not only that, and also there's just so many options we've got now that can actually produce for us. We've got a super chat here from Brandon Dixon, also known as Terry Silver, obviously.
Brandon, big up Brandon.
And he says Lucas is a revelation in the number 10, and I completely agree with that.
I remember when Poch played him up front for a bit, and he did quite well there ish. He did okay there when he was up front, but it didn't really last. Yeah, but we never really seen him in this role, in the central role, and he really is thriving. He really is thriving right now.
Yeah, it's not only that position on the pitch, but obviously that position as well with Eric Lamela. He comes on yesterday. He comes on the last couple of games and really, really provides well for the team. He provides that kind of extra energy that we need at that time of the game where players are kind of tiring throughout the game, and what energy he brings to this side, really does. And he's doing these mad skills and mad dribbles which we've actually never seen from him before. We've seen Lamela do that kind of stuff not half-heartedly, but we've seen it doing him, but not as well as he's doing it now, Eric Lamela.
Yeah, I think Lamela for a while has been coming off the bench and providing a difference and an impact, and I think now he's come for the last few games. I think ever since that West Brom game when we saw Lucas and Lamela start together with Dembele a bit deeper, I think Lucas and Lamela have been in good form pretty much ever since then, and they're really trying to provide another option for the team. I
feel that Lamela's providing for the team even better than he was providing for under Poch. Even when he was under Poch, we were saying he was a great sub. He was a great sub to come on, impacts games really well. But I think he's put that up an extra notch here under Jose Mourinho. Yeah, I think you might be right. Especially of late. He's playing really, really well. And there was a great ball for Son yesterday for the fourth goal. And again, he's making a really good impact. And I'm very happy with the way the squad is adapting at the moment. The last 3 games have gone really well. We've shown different sides to our We've shown different sides to our team. The grit we showed against Fulham to hold out for the 1-0 lead, and the creativity and the intensity in the press we've shown against Burnley and Palace to not relent in going forward and keep creating chances and keeping up that press. So we've shown different sides to us recently, and we need to keep it up. We need to keep up this good momentum because we're going to have a lot harder tests to come. There's a lot of big games to come. Our next 2 Premier League games, Arsenal and Aston Villa, are going to be a lot harder than the last 3 games we've played. Obviously Fulham, Burnley and Crystal Palace. You're going to say we're going to have a harder test against Arsenal and Villa in the next couple of weeks, in my opinion.
Yeah, I completely agree. But if we'll see where we are really when we play Arsenal on Sunday to see how good this team really is, because the past 3 games have been great, and obviously
you expect us to pick up 9 points out of those 3 games.
Exactly. We were favourites in all those games, and where people will argue we're favourites against Arsenal as well, but if we can really have a good attacking performance against them,
don't have us favourites, tell you that.
They don't?
No.
Oh, really? Arsenal favourites at the moment. Well, if we can really have a lot of attacking display against them and get a few goals and be solid defensively, then we can really say, okay, we're maybe going to be serious from now to the end of the season.
And other fringe players that have come in, Matt Doherty, he's growing and growing game by game. I still have reservations over Matt Doherty big time. I don't think he's performing kind of the way we know he can and kind of what we kind of need from a right back getting up and down. But against teams like the Burnleys and the Crystal Palaces, where we're going to have a lot of possession, where our fullbacks can really push up, I think he provides well for the team.
I think he did yesterday. I think he did a good job. The main thing, he was always there. And I think it's always there on the right-hand side. And I think people underestimate how important that is, to always be in that position and be an option. Because if he's not there, it forces Bale a bit wider, and it means he can't get involved as much in the central areas and creatively linking up with other players. And he's also a lot easier to mark. Whereas if Doherty's just there, even if he doesn't get the ball, or even if his quality isn't as good, him just being there creates a problem for the team, for the opposition team. And I think, whereas at the beginning of the season, he just wasn't getting in the positions. He just wasn't getting high up the pitch to really contribute, to really make an effect on the game. Now, whereas his quality might still be lacking, although he did whip in a couple of decent crosses yesterday. He's just his fitness seems to have improved a lot, where he's getting up and down the pitch a lot better than he was. And to me as well, the big thing yesterday was Zaha coming on for the second half, and we barely saw him. I thought Doherty dealt really well with that situation, and I was worried about it. And especially with Doherty coming so far forward, if he was going to be able to come back and defend and get back on Zaha in good time and not leave too much space. But he wasn't exposed.
He
dealt
one
with it.
time he was exposed.
Well, that wasn't really him.
The post.
That wasn't really him.
Do you not think so?
No, it wasn't really him, because that was very central. That wasn't really Doherty's fault. I blame Doherty a bit for the goal, because I think he could have got out more quicker to Mihajlovic to block the cross. But I don't think the moment where Zaha hit the post, that was on Doherty, because I think that was a counter attack that was more central, and that wasn't really Doherty's remit. I felt, but I thought he did really, really well yesterday, Doherty, and definitely I would say probably his best performance in a Spurs shirt.
Definitely one of.
And he's improving, and he's showing maybe there's a bit of hope left in Doherty.
Yeah, he's improving, but it's still not those like lung-busting runs that we need from a fullback.
And also, there's not enough quality either when he's in the final third. But maybe from now to the end of the season, he can have a good run and show why he was brought in.
It's just another option, you know what I mean? And we need options going into the season, because we can't just go into the rest of the season with so many games with just Aurier, right?
Exactly.
We need options in every position.
What's Josh King saying?
Got a super chat here from the first official Jose Alta, Josh King.
Go on, Josh King. Big up,
but
Josh
it doesn't sound like he's Jose out anymore. But he says, great performance. Keep proving me wrong, Jose. Lucas at number 10, a stroke of genius. Bale, Kane, Son is a dream front three. Now let's go and win some silverware.
Big up, Josh King. I think he's absolutely right. No one really expected Lucas in this front three to be, especially against a team in a low block. You think that would you can maybe... A team who pushes high up the pitch, you're thinking Lucas in number 10 maybe could do a good role there on the counter. But a team in a low block like Palace and Burnley, you're thinking, what use is Lucas in this kind of game? Where's he going to find space? But he really has adapted his role, and we all know how good his dribbling ability can be in those tight spaces, and it really is causing havoc for opposition defences.
That's why he's more kind of suited to playing teams in a low block, because he doesn't like getting in behind. He doesn't like playing with the last shoulder defender. He likes playing with ball to feet. He likes playing with defenders in front of him, and that's why it suits him so much. So I think actually when we play someone that plays a higher line, you play Lamella or you play Adeli in there, but when you've got like a low block team, you play a Lucas, because that's exactly his forte. That's exactly what he wants to do. It's
what we kept saying about Lucas, but we never really thought about playing him like that in a number 10. But we've always said Lucas doesn't make those runs in behind, which has always been my biggest gripe with him. I've consistently said that he never does. He doesn't make runs in behind enough, and he always wants the ball to feet. And now we're seeing the benefit of that. So a few times though, the problem is when you're in a low block, if you step off him, he can run at you, and he can wriggle past you, or he can press you. But if you press him as well, he's very adapt. He's quite press resistant as well, Lucas. He is pretty press resistant, so he can wriggle away from you as well if you press him, and that leaves a lot of space.
I feel the biggest difference between Poch and Jose is that Poch had his ideal way of playing, and kind of didn't change it for anyone. He goes out, plays his football, the high pressing game. When we stopped pressing, we didn't really see much football from us, to be honest. Mm-hmm. Jose Mourinho, I feel that he looks at our players, look at their players, and plays them exactly to their strengths. Like, Poch never tried that with Lucas Moura, because that's not the way he liked to play.
Well, he tried him up front.
But it wasn't that many times. It was here and there, just to fill in.
It was only, and also in the Champions League run when we had injuries.
But I feel like Jose Mourinho actually is thinking about our players' strengths and implementing it game by game basis. And you not just see that with Lucas Moura, but you see that with other players as well. And I think that, you see it with Ndombele. He started him further forward when his fitness wasn't there, and then he's dropped him back, which suits him even more. I mean, Jose Mourinho, whatever you say about him, he's got it up there, his tactics. I mean, his tactics are absolutely, I wouldn't say they're spot on every game, but you could see he's more tactically aware than Pochettino.
He said his methods are second to none.
Yeah, they are second to none.
But that's the whole thing with Mourinho, is he sets his team up each game to win, whereas Poch set his team up each game in the same way, kind of. Obviously he tries to win. It obviously is to win, but he doesn't set up each game specifically for that game. He sets up the same way every game because he believed that he's going to play the same way in this system, and if we keep doing this and we perfect it like a machine, then we're going to win a lot more games than we don't win.
Man City, a la Liverpool.
Exactly, that's what they do. Whereas Mourinho's a bit different in that aspect. I think he tailors a lot of the time. He tailors each game to who we're playing and the best way to win the game, and he's adaptable in that way. And obviously, it's also you get caveats to that because it means sometimes you can argue we're lacking a bit of a football identity sometimes, and sometimes we lose a bit of cohesion, and when we're not as well oiled in that system. But also means,
and also the manager gets it wrong sometimes. You can't get it right every game. Exactly.
But it also means that we are adaptable in a lot of situations, and we can we can exploit a lot of the opposition's weaknesses, and when we do, it can be extremely effective, like it has been the past few games. And let's hope that we can carry on this similar vein.
And even when the manager doesn't get it right, there's still chances that we can go take the game, because the way we set up defensively, it leaves us with not many chances against us. Not many high-quality chances, let's say, against us.
Yeah.
On the most part, anyway. I know there's been the game here and there where we've lost and fully deserved to lose, like the Chelsea game, the Leicester game, the Everton game right at the beginning of the season. But you look at our games where we haven't played well, but you still said we could have picked up the points and could have gone on and deserved to win the game, where we haven't done.
Many times. And we just got look. We had a horrific run, but looks like now that's behind us. It looks like there's a really good feel around the squad at the moment, with Bale playing well at the moment as well. I think that could possibly have sparked a new life into this season for us.
It felt like to me, Bale when he first came in, he gave the place a massive lift, and everyone could see that. And then it kind of fell flat a bit when Gareth Bale wasn't playing, and there was a bit of a bad feeling around the whole place. But now, since Jose Mourinho has kind of said something about him in the press, and he's got back to playing really well, it seems as though he's all galvanised them again, and there's a massive good feeling. I don't know if it's down to Bale, but they seem to be galvanised.
Yeah, there's definitely the team feeling and the team morale is definitely a big difference, especially when Kane got injured and stuff. There was a very, very low, and we were dropping points, losing to Chelsea and Brighton with really insipid displays, but ever since he came back sooner than we expected, Kane, I think the performances have performed dramatically, and there's been it has been a big difference. So I'm very happy with that, and with Bale playing the way he is, I think the Spurs players themselves can't help but be excited and give them an extra lift when Bale is playing this way. When he's they know how much it means to the club and the fans to have a club legend like Bale in full flight like he is at the moment. It really does mean a lot to all of us. It's like a dream, as I said before, to see him playing in this way with our modern day great Harry Kane and our best player of the last generation in Bale performing together.
Poetic.
It's unbelievable. It really is. It's something out of a dream. It's something out of a dream, and we're actually seeing it now in real time, and that's what's so great about it. And we just don't want it to stop at the moment. And I think the team, in a way, feel the same way. I think. With this partnership.
Yeah, I can't disagree. And look, just before we get into the papers, I want to know your thoughts as well. Do tag us in tweets if you want us to react to them. We have got 700 viewers, but only 123 likes. So do scroll down and smash that like button, smash that subscribe button if you're enjoying the content. Let's get into the papers.
Let's just read the super chat out quickly from Leo HD Gamer 123. Says Conte, Aarons, Lookman, Neto, and one more centre back. I guess that's what he wants in the summer. Not asking for much. Would you want to sign Lookman in the summer? Do you think he gets in our front three or competition? Nah. He's probably on a similar level to Bergwijn, Lucas, and these people.
Lookman, not for me, man. I mean, maybe. I don't
think he's bad. I think he's a good player.
I've been telling you how much I rate him the last couple of months. I mean, I would take him as a backup, but only just because he's a good player and it feels like the English quota as well.
Yeah, fine. I don't see him being a step up from what we have, though.
Yeah, I mean, if you put Bergwijn in that Fulham team, does he look good as well? Probably.
Maybe, exactly. So I don't know. So I don't see. I think Lookman's a good player. I don't think he'd do badly at Spurs. I just don't see him as someone who's a massive step up.
For me,
Neto might be though. I like Neto a lot.
Yeah, I mean, Neto's a class player. But how much is he going to cost?
Yeah, a lot of money.
For me, I think if we're going to go for a winger in the Premier League, we go for Rafinha.
Yeah, I agree. Rafinha is something special.
But they just signed him for 30 million in the summer, so that's not likely.
That's true. And Konsa, I like Konsa as well. I like the look of Konsa. I think he's young English centre back. And also, people are saying 4 wins in a row and all without Eric Dyer.
Yeah, I mean, look, how many times do we have to call for Eric Dyer to come out of the team?
Yeah, and now it's proved at the moment.
Let's look at the paper. The Mirror. The front page of the Mirror is Unstoppable. Bale hails his red-hot Spurs pals. This is from John Cross of the Mirror. And look, 100 goals for Tottenham this season. And for everyone saying, oh, you're a defensive side, you don't create any chances, blah, blah, blah. It's not bad, is it? As
Not
Jose
bad,
says.
not bad. I mean, a lot of them have come in Europa League, but it's not bad, is it?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look, I don't want to hear any of that negative
Slander.
Negative nonsense. And this is the middle page here, is fit, firing and formidable, obviously talking about the one and only Gareth Bale. I mean, everyone is waxing lyrical about Gareth Bale today, and rightly so, to be honest.
Yeah, and I think it's like it gives the nation a lift when Bale's in this kind of form. It is the only people who don't seem happy about it is the pundits on Sky Sports for some reason.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that.
Such a strange narrative, and it's just odd. The way they're looking at the situation. Like, yeah, it might have taken Bale a bit longer than what a lot of us hoped. But at the moment, it looks like he's happy again. He looks like he's happy to be back in the team, and his fitness has definitely improved, and he's clearly playing really well again. And all they can say is like what took him so long, and he should be playing 90 minutes and not 70 minutes, and Graham Souness saying he's criticising Bale for saying he's not 21 anymore. Well, he's not 21 anymore. I don't. What does he want him to say? Because he was asked basically. I don't understand. Basically, Bale was asked in the interview post match by Sky. He was saying basically, what does it take for you to get back to that Bale we saw when you were at Spurs, when you before you left? And he said, well, I'm not the same player anymore. I'm not 21 anymore. I have to learn. I have to adapt to my body. I can't run for 90 minutes like I used to. But I'm a different player, and that's all it is. And I just have to adjust to my body. And I have to. Obviously, it's taken a bit longer than I hoped to get back to full fitness. But I'm there now. I feel good, and now I'm firing. And obviously, that's encouraging. And then soon this is like. Well, I'm very disappointed with what he said, because why is he saying he's not 21 anymore? I played the best football of my life when I was 31, when I was 30 and 31, and he shouldn't really. It doesn't mean much to be 30, 31, and you can still be very good. And
he is very good.
And he is very good. That wasn't what Bale was saying. He's just saying he's a different player to when he was 21. And you can't make those long busting runs all 90 minutes.
Name me a player who does the exact same things when he's 21 and when he's 31.
Exactly.
There's
even
Ronaldo. You need to
like,
adapt your game as you get older.
Ronaldo wasn't the same player at 31 as he was 21. He was just as good a player, but he wasn't the same player.
Exactly.
He just adapted his game, and he became more of a central striker. He wasn't running as much on the wing and stuff like that, but doesn't mean he was any worse. It just means he had to adapt his game. That's what Bale has to do as well.
That's what good players do. They adapt their game as they go. They realise how their body changes. They realise how their game changes, and they adapt it to it.
And you can see, as we kept saying, the way he's been picking up these positions centrally, and getting on the end of things and being in the right place at the right time. Before, Bale didn't do that as much. He was always outside the box, smashing them in from 30 yards, and I'm sure he can still do that, but he was always using his pace to get in situations. Now he's a lot more clever, I feel, in and around the box when the ball is being whipped in. He can kind of know where the right place to be is, and you've seen that with goals. His first goal against Burnley, he knew where to be. Both goals yesterday were both good opportunist kind of efforts. One of the back post, he was free there, and another one, that header, he just knew where Kane was going to put it, and make sure he got ahead of Kouyaté and powers it in. We saw it against Stoke. I remember another good opportunist moment where he's in the centre against Wickham as well. He's doing that constantly now for Spurs, getting in these central areas and being in the right place, and not only relying on his physical qualities, but using his brain to get in the right positions. And that is part of him adapting his game. Mm-hmm. Doesn't mean he's any less effective. It just means he's different to what he used to be. Exactly. But he's still got just as much quality as he ever had.
Exactly. I can't argue that. We've got a super chat here from the Tottenham teacher. It looks as though it's a sick note from him, and he says couldn't make it to the post match, but what did I say? Glad everything is sun hung. Had a long weekend of grading. Cheers, lads. Got to catch some sleep.
I'm guessing everyone getting A's today.
Yeah.
Everyone's getting an A or an A plus after that.
But let's
no detentions.
Let's look at the player ratings from yesterday, what the Daily Mirror have given. So they've given Gareth Bale man of the match. They gave Lloris a 6.
Well, I would have given it to Kane. We haven't even talked about Kane. He got 2 goals, 2 assists.
Yeah, well, we'll get on to Kane. Don't you worry about that. Lloris a 6. Doherty a 7. Alderweireld and Sanchez a 6. Reguilon an 8. Winks a 7. Højbjerg a 7. Moura a 7. Bale a 9. Son a 7. And Kane an 8.
8 for Kane and 9 for Bale.
Yeah.
Interesting. I thought... It's difficult. I do think Bale was exceptional yesterday. I'm not gonna argue with it, but I just thought Kane, he had just
that goal alone puts you up to an 8 alone.
That goal alone was something special from Harry Kane. It really was. What a special strike that was. Just one touch. Didn't even have to take a touch to set himself, and he just whips it into that far corner like an arrow. So accurate, right into that corner, and to outswing it like he did as well. To swerve it away from the keeper, where usually you see people bending it around the keeper, but he had to bend it away from the keeper with an outswinging shot. It was such a hard technique to do. It really is very, very difficult to do that. And the way from that position, the angle he did it from as well, was really, really special. What a goal that was.
Do you want to plug in your phone and just go through a couple of these tweets I liked last night with a few records and stats and stuff?
Yeah, okay. And also other people have been tweeting us as well, so we'll get to your points in a minute.
Yeah, just go on the ones from Hotspur related. Just scroll down a tiny bit. There's a few from Hotspur related.
Okay. Yeah.
So there's that one.
From Gareth Bale.
Which one's the Gareth Bale one?
Bale has 8 goal contributions in his last 6 appearances, 5 goals and 3 assists, showing he's really come into form.
I mean, that says it all, doesn't it?
It really does. You got
that one.
That
Lucas.
Was 6 goals and 3 assists now. Sorry, because that was obviously after his first goal. Harry Kane is the first Tottenham player to register 2 goals and 2 assists in a Premier League match since Jurgen Klinsmann in 1998.
You see. And, people say don't ever get your heroes back and, it doesn't ever work and all this stuff. But I remember so many times where it has worked with Tottenham. Jurgen Klinsmann is one of them. That 98 season, that was the second coming of Jurgen Klinsmann, and he was brilliant.
Us.
And he was brilliant that season, saved us from relegation. The second coming of Jermaine Defoe was better than the first coming.
Agreed.
Can you think of any others?
Not Robbie Keane.
Not Robbie Keane. Not Robbie Keane.
Unfortunately.
Although he did score 4 goals in one game when he came back.
He did against Burnley.
He never did that in his first stint, did he?
No, he never scored 4 goals in his first stint, did he, in his second? Peter Crouch, second
Peter
coming?
Crouch.
He did kind of come back after he let him go from academy. Who else did we get back? Put in the comments. Who are we missing out? What players have come back to Spurs and have done well, just like Bale's doing well at the moment? Let me know in the comments below. What players are we missing out from? What are we missing out on?
Adam Puttergrill saying, loving the fresh cut, Sim. I think
Sheringham.
a lot of people get us mixed up, Sim.
I think so. Looks like it. Teddy Sheringham.
Teddy Sheringham.
He did all right in his second spell. Another tweet here. Harry Kane has directly contributed to 40 goals in 36 games in all competitions this season, which is quite frankly ridiculous.
So, compare that to the year that he got the most goals in a calendar year.
Yeah.
How many goals was that?
I think he got like 57 or something.
57. So how many is this 40 goal? How many contributions did he have that year?
Well, I don't think he had too many assists.
Was
he
it?
didn't have too many assists, so he probably had like 3 or 4 assists, not like he has now, where he's getting double figures.
So 40 is in a season. So I wonder what it will be by the calendar year.
Actually, I saw a great assist on a great tweet on Kane. I think I retweeted it. Let me see if I hear this one. This one is absolutely brilliant. I think it's absolutely spot on as well. Kane might actually win goal of the season, assist of the season, the golden boot, and playmaker of the season, all in one go.
But are those actual things? Is a playmaker of the season a thing?
No, I don't think so. I think he's made it up. No, I think he just means assist, like most assists in a season.
And is assist of a season a thing?
Why not?
It is now.
So he could get goal of the season for his goal yesterday against Crystal Palace. He could get assist of the season for that unbelievable assist against Southampton yesterday. He currently sits.
Do you not think assist of the season will go to Gareth Bale?
Well, the one against Burnley potentially could be that one as well. I actually think Kane's one might be better.
You think so?
I think might be. He's 1 goal behind Salah in the race for the Golden Boot, level with Bruno, where one goal behind Salah. You can see he's on 16, Salah's on 17, and he leads the way for assists this season. He's on 13. Kevin De Bruyne behind with 11, and Bruno and Grealish level with 10. So Kane is literally leading the way. He's setting the standard as much as you possibly could do in a season this season. So I thought that was a great tweet there. But
pull up that one from Squawker with Gareth Bale's stats in the game yesterday, because they are monstrous stats. They really are.
This one here. Gareth Bale game by numbers: 54 touches, 100% take-ons completed, 100% tackles, 100% shot accuracy. Oh, he didn't not miss a take-on yesterday, which is very impressive. 8 out of 9 duels won, 5 ball recoveries, 4 chances created, 4 crosses, 2 take-ons, 2 tackles made, 2 shots and 2 goals, another brace at home. Yeah, so those are great numbers, and obviously 2 take-ons, he did them both, and obviously 2 tackles as well, showing that he's not afraid to put a foot in at the moment. And there are a few times I remember you could see Bale sitting back and defending a bit and getting back and helping out Doherty. So that was really, really good from Gareth Bale. And he really is coming into his own now, and it's so exciting. Let's look at a few of the people sending in their tweets.
Just before you go, I just wanted to mention your tweet that you did yesterday, tweeting out that Harry Kane goal, saying, is there a more satisfying goal?
Yeah.
And to be honest, after you wrote, I was just watching it and I was like, I don't think there is.
There is, especially the angle of the camera.
And also just the passes and the touches all leading up to it as well.
You know what? I was watching all our goals yesterday, and apart from the first one where we nicked the ball up, all of them were really good passing moves.
Mm-hmm.
Were all really good passing moves. And really good football being played in every single one of them. You think about the second goal we scored, was a really good passing move. Bale playing out wide to Reguilon, who crosses it into Kane, who wins the header, heads it across to Bale, who scores. The third one was also a really good build-up play to get it to Doherty in space on the right side. He lays off to Kane. Obviously, it was a great strike, but also a great passing move. And the fourth goal as well was an exceptional passing move. The exceptional passing move, getting Lamela into space. Lovely.
That dink from Lamela was top quality.
Beautiful into Son, and his volley cross was also really great. Really good to control that into Kane, and he was able to head that in. And Tottenham have got a bit of swagger about them at the moment when they're passing, so that's really, really good.
I just really hope we can take this into the Arsenal game, take this into the Villa game.
Please. Let's look at some tweets you're all sending in. We're on from Cody Mack. He's tagged us in a tweet. He says... he's tagged us in a tweet saying, Burnley 1-1, tough game Burnley, Spurs 4, Burnley 0. Burnley was awful. Liverpool 0, Fulham 1, good side Fulham. Fulham 0, Spurs 1, Spurs have been terrible. Crystal Palace 0-0, tough team for Crystal Palace. A tough team to beat for Crystal Palace. Spurs 4, Palace 0, Palace were awful. Is there an agenda? I think so.
I don't
probably
get this agenda. It just doesn't make sense to me.
That whenever Spurs win, it's like, oh, it's only this team, but then everyone else seems to struggle against these teams.
You know, Leicester go away to Burnley, Arsenal go away to Burnley, and they draw. Both teams draw, and they're like, oh, you know what, Burnley's a very tough game. Mm-hmm. Burnley's a very tough game. They're always going to give you a tough game. But when we beat them 4-0, it's only Burnley.
Yeah, it's really annoying. I don't know what the...
It doesn't make sense. I don't understand why...
We just don't get the credit, because people want to write... People would basically... I've seen...
Why?
I think people have seen our poor form, and they think that those 3 wins in 12, and they want to say, basically, that's what you are. This is you Spurs now. And this is the quality of Spurs. Whereas, and now we're coming back into form. They just want to say, oh, it's only these teams because they want the bad form to represent us, basically.
Yeah, but you know, Liverpool on shocking form right now. If they go on the bounce and win 3 games in a row now, they're not going to be like disrespecting Liverpool like they're disrespecting Spurs in the media. Liverpool have lost 6 games at home in a row at Anfield. Their worst record at Anfield
no
ever
one's questioning Klopp.
In the history of Liverpool. No one is questioning a thing.
Yeah. Because everyone knows it's the injuries, isn't it? But we don't get any benefit of the doubt in that.
When we had the injuries last year, no one said anything about injuries.
Yeah, no one. Because Mourinho, everyone wants to just.
They just want to knock him down,
Mourinho.
don't they?
They do. A great man. They want to bash down a great man. Nate Hengen says Jose described Doherty as impeccable yesterday. Furthermore, he claimed Doherty played so well against Fulham. Do you think he prefers Doherty over Aurier because he may be the safer option? I feel Jose is severely overrating Doherty. Do you think I think of the whole season he's preferred Aurier. So I don't think just because of the past couple of games he's played Doherty that's the case. And I think
Aurier's just getting back from injury.
Yeah, and apparently he felt his calf after the Burnley game, so he's been not played the past two. And I think it's right not to risk him if he's not feeling great.
And also, healthy competition is only a good thing for us.
Agreed. So I don't think that he's overrating or Doherty. He just knows we need two right backs.
Look, I personally think Aurier is a much better player, in my opinion, and I think
agree.
he suits the team a lot more than Doherty does. But I'm happy for Doherty to get minutes and provide positively for the team. And that's the facts of the matter.
That's what we need. We need Doherty to put in competent displays like he has been the past couple games so that he can be an option. Whereas before it's like, oh, we have to play Tanganga because Doherty can't trust him. We need to be able to trust him.
Let's talk about the record breakers.
The record breakers.
Heung-min Son and Harry Kane are now the most lethal duo in Premier League history.
Exactly, with 11 games still to go. More than 11?
No, 11 for us.
11 for us, yeah. 11 games still to go in the Premier League. I mean, that is seriously impressive. Seriously impressive. And that shows how lethal they were earlier in the season. Although the partnership hasn't been maybe as potent as it was before, it's obviously still there. And I'm sure they're going to link up a few more times between now and the end of the season. And it's they've had a special connection throughout the whole season. I thought they linked up really well yesterday again. And I'm really happy for both of them to have that hold that record now.
Did you see Gareth Bale's interview after the game last night?
Yeah,
they were like,
very weird.
They were like, "Are you weaning in on Heung-min Son's man?"
Yeah, it's really weird.
Like, what's going on?
Why are you asking that? It's like, is Son okay with this? like what? It's like, are we not a team here? Like, is it the Son and Kane team? Is that what we're doing? It's as if like there's going to be some jealousy or something. Just everyone like. I'm sure Son is just as happy if Bale scores and Bale's just happy if Son scores. Like,
Gareth Bale seemed a bit perplexed with that.
It's a weird question. It's a weird question, but I'm just happy that I'm happy for them. They got the record because I think they deserve it, and they're the most potent in one season in history. Are they now top as well? And overall, I don't know yet. I think maybe they're a few away from Lampard and Drogba. Probably.
I'm not sure about that.
I think they're a few away from Lampard and Drogba just yet because they hold the record for all time, but. I don't think I think they're very close, and I think that was for a whole season. 14. They've linked up 14 times this season with 11 games to go. I think there's going to be a lot. It could even hit 20. Do you reckon they'll hit 20?
They very well could do. Only 6 more.
Yeah, 6 more. Link up 6 more times.
6 more and 10 more in 11 more games.
And there's Son as well, continuing his run of creativity, his assists, whereas maybe he's not scoring as much, but it doesn't matter because he's providing assists, and we've obviously got Bale stepping up from the goal-scoring point of view, so that's it's all good at the moment.
Headline from the Times. This is from... could be from Henry Winter, but I can't actually see... Oh, no, it's from James Gearbrandt, and the title is... Bale revival helps Spurs finally find their mojo.
That from the game. Bale, yeah, and I think it's come exactly the right time. Exactly the right time for us. This Bale coming back in, and I think it was getting to the stage at one point was like, are we ever going to see Bale? But now we've put that all to bed.
For me, the turning point was his cameo against Man City. That was the turning point for me because. We've never seen him play well against the Premier League opposition. He comes in against the champions-elect, and I know the game was done. It was 3-0 already when he came on, but you just saw that bit of quality about him, spraying the ball around, taking on a man, beating a man, and then it really kick-started from there, in my opinion.
That's what's been so great. What I've seen from Bale past few games. We all know he has that quality with his left foot that if he gets space, he can put it on a plate for anyone, and he can obviously whip it into any corner he wants to. But what people questioned was, does he still have that sharpness and that pace to dribble past people and to get around people? And he very clearly does. He very clearly still has. He might not have it over long distances like he did, but in fits and spurts, like in short bursts, he clearly has it just as much as he ever did.
He's not a cross-country runner anymore.
No, he's not, but he doesn't need to be. He doesn't need to be. And he's showing exactly what he can offer, and it's really, really great. Really great.
This Bale and Kane link-up is just so poetic,
Yeah,
man.
it is. I'm loving every second of it.
Go on.
Just Ribsy85 with the super chat says, I don't think it's a surprise that Doherty's best performance came a week after Jose was complimentary. He's obviously got a bit of he's got a bit of a confidence issue. Yeah, maybe he's building up Doherty's confidence, because I think at the beginning of the season, coming into a new club and everything, and not maybe playing the way he'd hoped and fitting into a new system, maybe he was low on confidence, but at the moment he seems to be a lot more confident in going forward, and he has a confidence in himself and in his body to not in the back of his eye thinking I best not go forward because I'm not going to be able to get back. He's now confident to get forward every time, especially against teams in a low block, and that's what we need.
Before I read out the next headline, please do go down, scroll down and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We're on 255 likes and 870 viewers, so you guys know what to do. The numbers just are not adding up. Just scroll down, hit that like button. Costs you absolutely nothing. Let's go and have a look at this one from Sammy Mockbell of the... I'm not sure of what, but I think it's the Mirror. Is it the Mirror?
Do I say? I must say what paper it is.
Doesn't say. Anyway, the headline is Bale and Kane bag doubles as Spurs eye the top four. How likely is you think we finish in the top four this season?
Look, it's still a long way to go. It's so tight that we can't afford to have obviously we can't afford to have a run like we did and anything like that. But I think we put ourselves in a good position now. We put ourselves in a very good position. But we need to, in the next 3 games, Arsenal, Villa, Newcastle, we need to be taking at least 7 points probably to keep pace with what Chelsea are doing and to close the gap on teams like Leicester and Man United as well. So there's a lot of football to be played and there's a lot to play for. I think there's a decent chance though. We've put ourselves in a decent position now after these 3 wins. So it's definitely in the fight. We're definitely in the fight. Whereas a few weeks ago, or even a couple of weeks ago, we were probably out of that fight. It looked like, and when lagging 9 points behind, and now all of a sudden we're right there, 2 points behind. So, I'm not saying we're definitely going to make it because I think there are a lot of good teams there, and we've got a lot of other things to fight for, like the Europa League and the Carabao Cup. So I'm not sure whether we'll take our eye off the ball or not. I hope we don't. But I think at least we've put ourselves in a fighting chance, which we needed.
Do you think, I actually said this at the time, but do you think it's a blessing in disguise that we went out the FA Cup when we did?
Potentially, because it definitely gives us more space to breathe. Because right now, if we were still in the FA Cup, we would be having way too many games to play. So it could potentially be a blessing in disguise. Also, because we're already in a Carabao Cup final, so in terms of domestic cups, we've still got a very good chance of winning one, despite the FA Cup. And because the FA Cup has been a bit devalued, I feel like the FA Cup and the Carabao are on very similar levels now in terms of important. Whereas it used to be like FA Cup and Carabao, but now it's kind of.
Do you think that changes with the prizes at the end of it now?
Do I think it changes?
FA Cup, you go to Europa League. Carabao Cup, you go to the Conference League.
Potentially, but not really. I don't think it doesn't make too much difference because we don't want to be qualifying for Europe via the cups anyway. We want to be except for obviously if it's Champions League. We no one's going to be happy we're qualified for Europa League or Europa Conference League through the cup. Mm-hmm. So for Spurs, it probably does make too much difference, but maybe for other teams it might do. But I think it's still on a fairly similar level.
Team of the week picked by Peter Crouch. Let's just read out this team of the week. So in goal, he's gone for Dubravka. Right back, Amati, Vestergaard and Tosin from Fulham at centre-backs. Shaw, left back, who Shaw's actually having a brilliant season, isn't he?
He really is.
Reed, Fernandez and Fred in the middle, with Bale, Iniacho and Kane up top.
So Bale's in there, Bale and Kane.
He's put Bale left wing and Kane right wing.
And Iniacho up front, I see. Very creative from Peter Crouch. But yeah, I think they both deserve to be in there. You can't not have Kane and Bale in that kind of form.
And I can't not read out this headline from Ian Herbert about Arsenal. It says, Arteta is not improving players, especially misfit Pepe. With the club stuck in mid-table, Arsenal are stagnant.
Damn right.
Arsenal have kept 1 clean sheet in their last 11 games.
Really?
Yep.
One in 11 games. And after their good run, it looks like they're kind of regressing to the mean again.
Granit Xhaka has made 8 mistakes leading to goals in the last 5 Premier League seasons, more than any other player.
Yeah, that mistake he made on Saturday was a joke.
Granit Xhaka number 8, Ben Mee number 5. Sorry, Granit Xhaka number 1 and 8. Ben Mee number 2 with 5. Otamendi and Simon Francis also with 5, and then Cedric Suarez is also
that's so funny. Cedric is in there, so Arsenal have 2 of the top 5. But it's funny, Nicolas Otamendi's there because obviously he was at the heart of the Benfica defence when they played them, and of their heroic last 32 victory against Benfica. Like that was a shocking Benfica team, and they should never have been losing that game at any point. And
that that Benfica team was so bad. Man.
Yeah, and the fact they nearly went out. Like people say it's heroic, but I'm like, they nearly went out.
Some Arsenal fans were on Twitter being like, "Oh, the greatest night in Europe in our history."
What? Oh my, so embarrassing. So embarrassing.
I mean, didn't they get to a Champions League final like 15 years ago?
Apparently it doesn't matter. Apparently the last 32 of Europa League against one of the worst Benfica sides I've ever seen is what's important.
I was waiting for this title. Kane and Abel.
Love it. Kane and a Bale.
A dynamic duo, too hot to handle. I mean, how many dynamic duos do we have?
Yeah, a lot. To be honest, there seems to be a common denominator. And it's Harry Kane.
True.
Like Harry Kane clearly can link up with anyone, can't he? You remember people used to say him and Dele used to have a telepathic relationship back in the day when Dele and Kane used to bang in the goals.
And now at one stage they were like Kane and Son can't play together. We're worse on the pitch when Kane and Son play together.
That was all rubbish. That was all BS. But yeah, look, Kane is such a good player. I think he can just link up with anyone, and he's the glue that sticks that front three together. I think you say the same
about Son and Bale as well.
Probably, but Kane's proved it. Like through his time at Spurs, how many different amazing partnerships he's had.
So how right was Harry Redknapp when he said, "All you need to do just put an arm around him, get him, or tell Gareth just
What did he say? Well, why? People say he's 31, he can't play. Why? Don't drink, you don't smoke. Why? What's the problem here? Get him on the pitch, get him run around a bit." I love it. I love Harry. He was spot on. He was absolutely spot on. He wasn't spot on about us challenging for the title, but he was spot on about Bale.
Well, if we got our act together earlier on, he might have been.
You never know. Look, next season, if Bale carries on this form, we keep him, we make a signing in defence, and you never know what could be possible.
True.
Shall we look at more tweets? Got Finley Evans says, when Lo Celso is back, will there be any place for him in the starting 11 with the form of everyone right now? Where do we fit Lo Celso in?
It's a squad game, man. It's a squad game. Of course you can fit him in. You can fit him in. I would have played him there instead of Harry Winks yesterday, instead of Ndombele.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's why I said I'd rather him rotate him with Ndombele.
But it's great to have versatile players like that can fill in anywhere on the pitch. Because Lo Celso, I know he's not really suited to the wings, but he can fill in there if need be. If we got a lot of injuries, he can fill in that number 10 role, which I think is probably his most suited role, and then he can fill in number 8 as well. So I think that. He's such a classy player, Giovanni Lo Celso. I think when he hits the ground running, when he gets back into the side, I'm not sure if there'll be a player that can actually dethrone him from whatever role Jose puts him in. But I think for now, he can fill in anywhere, really.
And it's good because it's good that everyone's on form and we're thinking about this because we don't want to be rushing him back and relying on him just when he's coming back from injury and risking him agitating it again. We just want to ease him back into it because if we're in a situation where he's come back into a team in very bad form and we're relying on him to turn our season around like after he's just had a serious injury, then it could always be a situation where we overuse him and we rely too much on him. And now it's better if he comes back into a fully functioning team like we are at the moment.
Yeah, completely agree. The Daily Star is Harry's Bale Bond. Kane and Gareth partners in prime for Jose. Love that.
Another one saying dynamic duo.
This is the same paper though.
Ah, right. Harry's Bale Bond.
I just love that.
Big up, Harry.
Gotta love it. Look, and the last paper is the Independent. And first of all, I got to say congratulations to Glasgow Rangers because absolutely sensational stuff from Rangers and Steven Gerrard dethroning Celtic after 10, 15 years of dominance, something like that.
Yeah, but they did. This is their first win since they went into administration all those years ago. Yeah, they went down the leagues. They fought their way back up, and I think, to be honest, for me, it was always inevitable. They'll always get back to this position, but they're now there. And fair play to Steven Gerrard. He's the one to have done it, and he deserves all the plaudits.
Yeah, definitely. The headline about Spurs from the Independent from Will McGee. says Resurgent Bale fires double to down Palace. Yeah, I mean, that's about it, really.
Yeah. There you go, Resurgent Bale. And that's it with Bale. He is getting a bit of a resurgence at the moment, and it's exciting.
Yeah,
Doesn't
I
get
just
more
really
exciting
hope
than that.
Arsenal try and sit back against us.
I hope so, because I think it could hurt them. I just feel like we're more of a functioning team at the moment. That's the feeling I get. But Arsenal, they if they're on their game, they do have quality, don't they? So with Saka, he could always hurt you. And they've got, Aubameyang, if he comes into form, we just got to make sure we're on top of them. We don't let them have space.
Yeah, and they kind of always raise their game to play us well. So they're going to play well when they play us. You just know that.
I think what could really help us is if they actually have a bad result in Europa League, and that could maybe force their hand in terms of what team they play against us, because they know Europa League is definitely more important for them than the Premier League, unfortunately, because the position that we're in just in the fight for top four, well, they're 7 points behind us, so they're really lagging behind, and they're not going to get top four. They might get top 6 if they really go on a good run, but they're not going to get top 4. So they know their best route back into Champions League is Europa League, so that has to take precedence for them. Whereas for us, at least we have 2 options. We're fighting on 2 fronts.
3 fronts.
3 fronts, with Carabao, but in terms of the Champions League, where we've got 2 options. We're in the top 4 race and we're in the Europa League race. So
I love how Jose explains it. Don't worry.
I can't forget. I refuse to forget.
The cup final in the back pocket already. We worry about that in 2 months' time.
And he says, I refuse to forget the Europa League. I refuse. But I'm saying, if Arsenal have a bad result, they can't really afford to. If they have a really bad result and play a strong team on Thursday against Olympiacos, I don't know if they can afford to have not rest players against us, because if they do go out Europa League, that is the season over for them.
Yeah.
So if they do get a bad result and against Olympiacos in the first leg, like a narrow defeat, then
or even a draw,
it'll be interesting to see what kind of lineup they play against us. And if they do go a strong lineup, that might mean they could go out of the Europa League on the following week.
So they're away first. So,
yeah.
I mean, if they get an away goal or 2...
And it's positive for us, for me.
Even a score draw is a good result for them.
Yeah, but it's a big positive for us that don't have to travel on the Thursday, I feel.
I agree, but we need to put that game to bed in the first leg.
Yeah.
So we have no worries going into that derby.
But then do you go full strength?
Yeah, that's the thing. But I think we can put the game to bed even without full strength.
Or with Vinicius and these people.
I think we can. If we will, is a different story. But I know they're a different kettle of fish to the team we played in the last round. But look how well we did there with the French players.
Yeah.
I know Zagreb are a different kettle of fish.
I think we start with Vinicius and them lot. And them man, as Spurs would say. But I think we start with them. And if it really is going as bad as it could, then I think we do have 5 subs. I think people forget how crucial that is, having 5 subs. It means you could literally change half your team at half time if you wanted to, theoretically. That's how much of an impact it could have. So if we do start with Vinicius, we start with Bergwijn and whatever, a few fringe players. And if it really is we're losing at half time, or it's 0-0, or we're really struggling, then we can bring the big hitters, Kane, Bale and Son on at half time or whatever, But I think at the start of the game, I think you're right. I think we just see how it goes, play a bit of a fringe team in that first half. And if it's going well, we keep it going and hopefully we can eke out a good result. But if it isn't going well, you can always change half your team. So it's I think that's what you got to do in this Europa League game.
Got a comment here from Ribsy85. He says, just please don't play Joe Hart. First of all, I have no Joe Hart slander on this
Joe
channel.
Hart. Come on, big up Joe Hart. He started following us on Instagram.
Yeah,
big
Joe
up
Hart started following us on Instagram and DM'd us his latest post as well.
Great post.
And we asked him to come
What a
on the
post.
channel, and he just liked the comment. And
so he's coming on. No, I don't know. We'll see. But Joe Hart, you're always welcome on the channel. Would love to get if you're watching this, Joe. Love to get your thoughts and things. Mike Hawk on Super Chat here says, Arsenal are so garbage they are beefing Greek teams in Europa. I mean, we're also in Europa, mate. I'm not sure.
But we're not beefing Greek teams.
Yeah, we're not beefing Greek teams. You're right. We're beefing Croatian teams. Get it right. That's what the true quality is. Lee on Twitter says, I actually back this. Need to buy Anderson from Fulham in the summer. I am a big fan of this guy. I'm a big fan of this guy. The Fulham centre-back, the Danish Fulham centre-back Anderson. I really like him. I think he's really, really good.
I'm not sure who I know you're talking about.
And he's I think his name's Joachim Anderson. He plays for
The one that plays alongside Adebayo.
Yeah, Adebayo. His passing is Toby-esque. I think he could be the next Toby. I really think he's really good. He's really strong. And I think against us, I was very impressed. And again, yesterday against Liverpool, he played really, really well. And he's basically he's like 24. He's on loan from Lyon, and he's got such leadership skills that even though he's on loan from Lyon for a season, he's got the captain armband.
Serious?
Yeah. And
how much do you reckon he would command?
Because he's from if we have to buy him from Lyon, so I don't know, maybe 25 million or something. So I don't know. I don't know how much his release costs, but he's really impressing me.
Tanguy and Ndombele cost us 65 million from Lyon.
True, and we all know how hard their chairman is to deal with.
Their chairman is a nutcase.
Yeah, absolute crazy guy. So, well, I don't know. I don't know how much it would cost, but he's one I really do like, and obviously Højbjerg, he probably has that link there as well. So, I actually would rate that signing if we got him. I think he's been really good.
A lot of people in the comments saying go for Konate from Leipzig.
Konate, yeah. Him and Upamecano. But with Upamecano already left, will they just let another centre-back leave very easily? Probably not.
Probably not.
KJ13 says, at this point, where do we fit Sabitzer in? Which is what you were saying yesterday. And what are we going to do with Bergwijn being as we might sign Bale on a permanent? Plus, who do you think is going to be let go of seeing Cess and Skip and Scarlett coming into the team next season?
I think I was thinking about this morning about Sabitzer, and where he fits in is Sissoko's got to go. In my opinion, Sissoko,
yeah, I'd right, yeah.
Yeah. Either you swap a Sabitzer for a Sissoko or you swap a Sabitzer for a Winks. One of the two.
I think you're right. I think they have to go and find up the quality. I think, but the thing is, if you do have Lo Celso and Ndombele as centre mid options, that does change things for me, because I think if you have Lamela, Lucas and Dele Alli all fighting for that central attacking midfield position, you have Lo Celso and Ndombele rotating the centre mid position with Højbjerg. And maybe a Skip, then all of a sudden that looks like a very different dynamic in terms of what options we have.
But we've said it all season. These fringe players need to be upgraded. These fringe players like the Davinson Sanchez's, the Eric Dyer's.
He's not a fringe player anymore, Sanchez.
Yeah, for the last few games, he still needs to be upgraded on. Harry Winks, Moussa Sissoko. These players all need to be upgraded on. Even Eric Lamela to a certain degree. He's been here a long time.
Yeah.
So it's just about refreshing the squad. And if we could swap like a Sissoko or a Winks for a Sabitzer,
that would be brilliant.
That changes things a lot. And if we can marry that in with a few defensive signings, I mean, we're going to be transformed next season if we can do that. It's a big if, though. It's a massive if.
Yeah. Do you think if we sign Bale on a permanent, that is our forward line next season sorted?
If we can keep Bale fit.
If we decide that Bale is definitely worth another few years, and he carries on this kind of form, and we can keep him fit, would you look at signing another winger, or do you think he's could be in our front three?
I think you also got to look at the evolution of Steven Bergwijn, because he can't carry on like this forever. You know what I mean? He needs to be improved. I mean, he personally needs to improve. You know what I mean? So we can't have another season of Steven Bergwijn playing minutes of football and not attributing anything, assists, goals, nothing.
Agreed.
We need him to step up, and I believe he can.
Apparently, he's deleted all his Tottenham posts on Instagram.
I saw that.
What do you think of that?
It's a strange one. I mean, if he does go in the summer, then it is what it is. I wouldn't be too fussed. But if he does stay, I do believe that he can hit the heights that we want him to.
I think he'll be a good player. I think he's got a lot of quality. I think he's lacking a lot in confidence. You can see Lucas Moura before that West Brom game. He was having a very poor season as well. He was also lacking confidence, and you just need to maybe change a position or run a games or something, and then it can click into gear for you. I think Bergwijn just needs that goal. He needs that goal for this season to kick.
The problem is he was our starting right winger for so long this season, and he wasn't contributing at all. And now you've got that was a prime opportunity for him, because Lucas wasn't playing well. Lamela was here and there, injured out of the team. Gareth Bale wasn't arriving on the scene. So that was a perfect opportunity for him to kick the ground running and introduce yourself and say to Jose Mourinho, look, I'm here. I'm not coming out the team. He didn't do that, unfortunately.
He wasn't awful, though.
He wasn't awful, but he didn't tell Mourinho, look, this place is mine.
He didn't take it by the scruff of the neck.
Exactly.
It's true.
And now you're seeing Gareth Bale come into form, Lucas come into form, Eric Lamela providing off the bench as well. So there's no place for Bergwijn at the moment. There really isn't.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem with it when everyone's starting to contribute now, and all of a sudden he's like saying, "Well, I played well when I got my chance as well," but he just didn't contribute the way the other players are now currently contributing up front. And I know he did a great job for the team. I think he was a lot of very, very good team player, but he wasn't getting those goals and assists and final third contributions that when you're a winger in a team challenging for top things, you need to be contributing something going forward. And that was the big letdown for him. But I still think he's a player with a lot of quality, and I think he's a player who can definitely improve. And I think people are writing him off very quickly. And he's still not 23. He's still a young Dutch winger who gets, you don't get called up for Holland if you're a mug or anything. He's a good quality player. And I just feel like he needs a bit of confidence in that with a goal or something to really kickstart what he can do.
And the problem is that he's not going to find much game time from now to the end of the season. I mean, he's got to take every single little chance that comes his way.
He might get some game time in the Europa League, I feel.
Yeah, but that's about it. But look, we are on 999 viewers, 1,000 viewers, people.
Come on, guys,
this
big
is
up.
The highest number in a morning after show. So you guys are smashing it out today, and do scroll down and hit that like button. Let's see if we can get to that 1,000 likes on this morning after show. But look, back on Steven Bergwijn, it's going to be hard to see where he fits in this season. I think if he does work hard and kind of really hard pre-season, I think more opportunities can come his way next season. He's still a young player and he's got time on his side.
Yeah, but I wouldn't write him off so quickly. People are writing him off, and he had a good start and then he tailed off. I still think even this season, even though he hasn't provided goals and assists, he has played well in a lot of games and he has done some really good things. But unfortunately, it just hasn't, like when you got a contribution machine like Bale coming in, like obviously he's never going to really stand up to that in comparison. But I still believe in his quality and I still believe he can be a very good player for us, and just need a bit of patience and build up his confidence. Mike Hawke says Botman from Lille would be a good left-footed centre-back.
Yeah,
a lot of talk about Sven
I've
Botman.
been saying the reason why I really like Botman, I've seen him play a couple of times. I wouldn't say I've seen him a lot. I've seen him a couple of times for Lille, and Lille are having a really good season this year. First of all, you would say Sacramento would know him really well, obviously working at Lille and what have you.
Well, he's only joined Lille this season, so I don't know
has
if he
he?
would.
So you wouldn't know him at all. But what I would say is that he comes with that Ajax pedigree, Botman. Came through the ranks at Ajax. We've seen that with Vertonghen and Alderweireld, Christian Eriksen, players that we've had in the past. Really good footballing DNA. He's got that left-sided. He's left-sided. Left-footed. So I think he would suit us perfectly, Sven Botman.
Let's look at a tweet from Charlie THFC. He has tagged us in something. He's tagged us in Axel THFC's tweet. He says, just a reminder that Harry Kane scored 2 goals today, made 2 assists, created 3 chances, created 1 big chance, made 3 accurate long balls, won 4 aerial duels, made 1 clearance and blocked 1 shot that was going in. Crazy performance yesterday by Harry Kane.
It really was, man. It really was. I mean, I just can't stop thinking about that goal. It was just such a good goal, man.
It was a great goal.
I've watched it about 1,000 times. I'm not going to lie.
It was a great goal. And he was really strong performance there by Harry Kane, and I thought he was just everywhere. As when he's in that kind of mood, like it's so hard to stop him. Let's see a few more tweets. More tweets are streaming in at the moment. Bob Spur. Let's talk about Bob Spur. Bobby Singh, that is.
Come on, Bobby.
I have been the Jose out camp, but he's showing that maybe with better tools, he's the man. Just hope the slight trolling of Jose out fans because they had a difference of opinion stops. Falling out with our fellow fans should be left to the scum down the road.
This is what I'm saying about reactionary fans, you know what I mean? People need time in football. Things don't happen overnight. And Jose's proving exactly that. And, bad form this season, yes. And we kept saying week in, week out, you can't put this all down to Jose. And the people on Twitter, Jose out, Jose out, Jose out. And now we're having 3 games on the spin. and the Jose outs have been like, oh, you know what, Jose might be the man for the job, and what, are we going to lose the next 2 games and then another reaction? You know what I mean? It's just back the manager, man. Just back the manager.
Exactly. But it was really weird, the reaction to the Fulham win. Like, it was almost like justification by people who wanted Jose. I was like, look at this. We're only winning because we're lucky. But how is this acceptable? It's like Fulham are a good team. We got the win. Like, we played well in the first half. People need to calm down. And it's like this Jose out narrative. Look, I understand he was being underperforming. We were on a bad run and everything. But, like, I think people just have to be a bit patient and need to calm down a bit. And I think we're seeing now what he can do when players back fit.
And people got to realise how much of a strange season it is and how congested it is. All it takes is a couple of wins and you're back up there. And we've seen that. Look, we were 9th in the table, 8th in the table, whatever it was. We've won 3 in a week and now we're up to 6, 2 points out the top 4.
Here's what KJ13 has responded to what we were saying about Bergwijn. He says, Bergwijn hasn't deleted anything major. We all delete posts now and then. We are forgetting Berg forced to move out because he wanted to play for this club.
That's true.
So apparently he didn't delete anything major. What was this? From February 20... What? From February... This is what, from a year... A night to remember. So what? He still has some Spurs content there, he's saying, basically. Well, I haven't really seen. I don't know. Look, I haven't analysed Bergwijn.
He deleted all his Spurs content from this season.
From this season, was that what it was? Maybe he's saying that he wants a fresh start from this season. Someone's tagged us in a potential team they want us to be playing next season. Nick Pope in goal, Hakimi, Skriniar, Botman and Reguilon in a back 4, with Højbjerg and Ndombele, Bale, Dele, Son and Kane. And a bench of Hart, Sanchez, Alderweireld, Skip, Lo Celso, Moura and Danny Ings.
And Danny Ings on the bench,
and Danny Ings. with in reserves, we've got Aurier, Tanganga, Roden, Sessegnon, Winks, Bergwijn and Scarlett. Wouldn't mind that, but it would take a lot of movement and a lot of work. And definitely Champions League football.
A lot of money as well.
Definitely a lot of money. And let's see, well, Smithers is on it from The Simpsons. Excellent, Smithers. Do you think Bergwijn has been the victim to our switch in style of play recently? As when he played, he was playing so deep and didn't get a chance to pick out chances like the front 4 has been doing recently. I think if he played in our current system, he'd improve a lot. I think there's something to that. I agree. He got a few chances when he was playing with us, but we were playing a lot more on the counter when he was playing, like against Liverpool and against Man City, and a lot of big performances where he played well. We were definitely playing a lot more on the counter than we are at the moment, and I do think maybe if he was playing in these current teams, he would have more chances and more attacking contributions. But he did have, a lot of chances when he was playing as well. So it's not like he had zero. But I think I kind of agree. I think he would maybe see more from him if he was playing now than if he was then, which is a bit unlucky in that sense.
Got a message here from Stephen Delaney. It says, Sim, after all those brilliant Kane stats you have Chris moaning about diving. I'm not sure what he's talking about.
Who's Chris?
I'm not sure.
I don't remember any Kane dives yesterday.
Neither do I.
So I don't know about. Was that super chat?
No, just a comment.
Oh, okay. Okay. I don't know about that.
Yeah, is there anything else you want to bring up?
Well, people are just tweeting all the time. Let's look at this one from Abenza. Says, do you think our team now is much more unpredictable with Lucas Bale and Ali pitching in with goals and assists? Also, now do you think the burden on Kane and Son has been lifted for them being solely relied on to score goals and win us games?
Mm-hmm. Now the burden's on Kane, Bale and Son.
Yeah, Kane, Bale and Son, yeah. Or the burden's lifted on Kane, although he was involved in every goal we scored yesterday. He got 2 goals and 2 assists.
The burden is definitely not lifted off Harry Kane.
No, Kane. But the thing is, like, people, I hate the narrative, like, because Kane's involved in every goal, we're relying on him. Is like, he's just that good. Like, what can we do? Like, he's so good. Like, it's not about relying on him. It's just him. It's just about him being that good. I hate these comments when they go, rival fans or like people in the media even say it like, oh, you'll be nothing without Kane and Son. Yeah.
Well, they're our 2 best players. So like, what do you expect?
Exactly. It's
how many times do you have to say it? But I know we've spoken about this a lot in the past. But you look at any team in the Premier League, you take their 2 best players out, and they'll be considerably worse. That's just the facts of the matter. That's you've got two amazing players. If you take them out, you'll be considerably worse. I don't get what this whole thing is.
We've got a DM from the Irish Hotspur.
Come on, David.
He's saying, please read this out. So I'm going to read it out. He says, please read this out in response to the Jose out people crying. They are the ones who created the toxicity with throwing stupid comments without any context behind it and caused the toxic vibes going round now. Now that results have gone against the agenda, now it's the Jose backers who are toxic. Give me a break.
The Jose backers are toxic.
He's saying that basically people who are Jose out who are making fun. Basically, he's saying because results have turned good. He's saying people who back Jose are now making fun of people who are Jose out, and now the Jose out people are saying that the Jose in people are being toxic because they're making fun of their previous opinions. I don't know. The whole thing is a bit silly. I
haven't heard such bullshit in my life. Like, why can't just everyone just respect everyone's opinion and just move on?
Yeah,
what I
mean?
mean?
It's just weird. Yeah,
football is a game of opinions. Yes, I get if you want Jose out. If you don't want Jose out, you want Jose out. That's your opinion. But at least pull together as one fan base and want the team to win.
It is a bit weird to after winning well, people still putting out these things to suit their agenda. I saw one guy, we won yesterday 4-1, and he was like, doesn't this just prove that Jose has had the handbrake on the whole season and this shows how bad his tactics have been? I'm like, oh, you just don't. So stupid. Such a weird take for that to be. I think at the moment, what I'm seeing at the moment is where the team is evolving into a way that we can now sustain pressure more consistently on teams like Palace and like Burnley, whereas before the team wasn't in an evolution. Like when we played Palace earlier in the season when we lost control of the game, the team wasn't in an evolution at that time to sustain pressure for 90 minutes, but now we are. It's just different. And to blame it, I know obviously Jose has to take responsibility, but to blame it all on Jose because all he does is sit back, I think that's just short-sighted.
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole point. Like, people think that the people that want Jose, the people that want Jose out think that the people that want Jose in can't put any sort of blame on Jose whatsoever. But that's not the case. Just because we want him as manager doesn't mean he has no faults whatsoever.
Yeah, I completely agree.
And look, we on this channel have pointed out Jose's flaws and what Jose has done wrong here and there, but doesn't mean we want him out. You know what I mean? Not everyone's perfect. He's gradually taking us in the right direction at the end of the day. There's no two ways about that, is there?
And I think that Jose, look, we all know he's one of the best managers of all time. There's no disputing that.
Well, he just got voted best manager of the century.
Exactly.
Or whatever it was.
And I think that creates a belief when you have someone like that in charge that he knows how to win big moments, he knows how to take a team in the right direction. He's done it so many times with so many teams that just because it went a bit wrong, it'll be so silly and short-sighted, I think, to just throw it away so quickly when you have a manager there. Like, who are you going to bring in? Obviously, other managers have different qualities and maybe other managers suited to different teams differently, but who are you going to bring in that can instill as much belief as someone like Jose can? Like, Jose is such an inspirational and can be so motivational, and he has such a good CV with what he's won in the past and what he's done in his career. Like, I think players want to play for managers like that. This whole narrative that he's toxic and all, and he always just ends up falling out with players and no one likes playing with him. That's just rubbish. I think it's rubbish. I think it's a rubbish narrative. I really do. And yeah, he's gone through bad periods and stuff, and maybe his past two jobs haven't gone as he had hoped, but doesn't mean that he's washed or anything like that. I think look, what Sol Campbell saying, one of the greatest minds of football. This is literally one of the greatest minds football has seen in terms of management. Mm-hmm. And we just need to give him a chance. And he's saying Tottenham is the first club he's been at where he can see more of a project, as opposed to instant success that the other clubs he's been at have demanded. And I think we need to give him that time to build that project. I really believe that.
And because he's had instant success at other clubs, people think it's going to be like that at Tottenham.
And it has no. I think more importantly, people think it has to be like that.
Yeah, it has to be.
Because they think if it isn't, he's just going to go toxic and it's going to fall away. And I think people just need to let this breathe. And I think especially now with all the pandemic and everything, it'll be so stupid to just chuck it away. And instead of actually giving him a proper season. I think this season has been difficult for everyone. Not just us. It's been every club has struggled really this season.
It's important to note that the guy's changed as well. Because I do think that in the past he has been kind of guilty of ending things toxically. I know I know when managers leave clubs, it kind of rarely ends well.
That's why they leave, yeah.
Yeah. But I think when Jose Mourinho ends at clubs, it ends a bit differently to like other managers. I think it does kind of end with like heads clashing. You saw it at Man United, with Shaw, Pogba. You saw it at Chelsea as well, where he fell out with a lot of players. You saw it at Real Madrid even, he fell out with some players. You've seen it at every club he's been at, let's be honest.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know if I buy that narrative, because I think every manager, except for like when Pochettino got sacked, where you'd probably say, you know, it wasn't exactly toxic, but you know, you had those articles saying players were losing, didn't believe in his ways anymore and things like that. Like I think with literally 90% of managers when they leave and get sacked, like it's because things aren't right, and that's just the same with Jose. I think I don't think it's any different.
I agree with you, but I don't think you see like managers and players going head to head in the media and stuff like that as often as you see it with Jose in his previous clubs.
Yeah, you're probably right on that. You're probably right, but that's because he's very outspoken.
But what I'm saying is he's noticed. Let's think about his first interview he did as Spurs manager, first press conference he did as Spurs manager. The first thing he said was, "I've learnt from my mistakes from his time at Man United." So I mean that is the telling thing from me, because I think that you're seeing in his way he's reacting to his press conferences, the way he reacts to bad form, the way he reacts to certain players, that he has changed. And you look at players like Ndombele, Dele Alli, Gareth Bale, you know, all players that he's commented on in the press in a negative way.
Aurier, I think is important.
Aurier as well. All players that he's reacted to in a negative way. And all four of those players have gone full circle and come back as a better player.
Yeah.
Or you know, showing some form.
Yeah, I agree. And I think we just we need to trust him. I think it'll be silly. I think it's silly to just throw away such a good manager because of a bit of bad form. And I think we need to have belief that he's the right man for us. And yeah, you can believe he's not. I'm not saying don't, but I'm just saying from a club perspective, when you hire Jose, I think if he's saying that he wants to build a project at Spurs, I think you just got to give him that time. I believe we should. I want to give Jose time to build a project, because why not? Why not? Why not have Jose in charge? And I think he's attractive. I think players want to play for him. I think he could definitely attract players from around the world to play for us because he's our manager. And he's definitely a selling point to being at Spurs, Jose Mourinho. Definitely, I definitely think that. So I think it'll be silly to think that getting rid of Jose and bringing Nagelsmann is the way forward right now. I don't think that'll be the right thing to do.
And when you think about it, if you bring in a project manager like a Nagelsmann, like a Ten Hag, whatever, like a Scott, whatever you bring in, any manager that you bring in, we're going to have to go backwards before we go forwards anyway.
Yeah.
Jose Mourinho is a year into that project already. So I don't understand. If you bring in a Nagelsmann, I think we get worse before we get better. I
just think there's a narrative that Jose can't do a project, basically. I think there's a narrative that if he's not winning now, you're best get rid of him because it's only going to go downhill, basically. That's the narrative.
Just lazy, man.
I do think that's lazy. I think Jose deserves as much chance as any other manager, like a Klopp or a Pep or whatever, to build a project here at Spurs, and I think he's deserved that with who he is and what he's done in his career. I think he's deserved that kind of a project and that kind of trust in his ways. And I think it's disrespectful to just to believe that someone, although he's a promising manager, but someone who hasn't done even an inch of what Mourinho's achieved in the game is more of a way forward than Jose. And it's not like Nagelsmann's going to come in and be like, okay, Dyer is now the best centre back in the league. Like it's not going to be like that. Like he's going to want his own players. He's going to want centre backs and whatever. And you know, you can't people criticize Jose for not getting maybe the best out of this defense, but like Nagelsmann will struggle as well to get the best out of what we have, and it's difficult. I think Jose is actually not doing too bad of a job in terms of what we are doing defensively.
Yeah, I mean, look, we've been on a bad run, but it's just been a bad run. We're back up there now. We're 2 points outside the top four. And I just want the whole fan base just to start singing from the same hymn sheet and just all pull together now, because things are looking bright.
Exactly, and if Jose can do something this season, then he can really build on it for next season. Zach on Twitter says, how strong do you want our team for the Europa League on Thursday, and what players would you rest? Yeah, that's what we were saying before. I think I wouldn't say rest everyone. I just think we do need to. I think Kane and Son, I think potentially rest them from the start, and then if things are going sideways, you can bring them on.
For me, you got to go for Lloris in goal. I wouldn't put Joe Hart in for this one.
Yeah, I won't put Joe Hart in.
Aurier right back, Davis left back, centre back pairing of probably Dyer and Sanchez.
Yeah.
I want Toby to have a rest in this game.
Resting for Arsenal.
Yeah. I would put in the double pivot. I'd probably put Winks and Sissoko. Is that Ndombele and Winks?
If Lo Celso's fit, do you maybe think about him?
Centre mid.
No?
No, I don't think he'll be fit enough to play that centre mid role. I think you put him in a number 10. But then where'd you put Dele Alli?
Yeah. Maybe this game's come too soon for Lo Celso. But what, you don't play Ndombele?
I said maybe Winks and Ndombele.
Oh, Winks and Ndombele.
Sissoko and Ndombele.
Sissoko and Ndombele. Yeah, Sissoko and Ndombele. What, you want to give Højbjerg a rest?
Yeah.
I feel like he will play Højbjerg on Thursday, I feel like he
well.
will.
I feel like he really needs a rest. He's just playing too many games.
He's playing every game. But he said something very interesting, Mourinho, off in his press conference against Palace. He said, we have to keep the structure of the team and only change 2 or 3 players. And I think the structure of the team is Lloris, probably
it's the spine. Lloris, Toby,
Højbjerg,
Kane.
Probably maybe even Sanchez looking at now. Kane, Son. So maybe he's thinking those are the players that need to play, and we can change everything else.
I got a feeling Lamela and Bergwijn will be starting this game.
I think so. I think Lamela deserves a run, and I think Ali will probably play as well.
Lamela, Bergwijn, Ali, the front three behind with Vinicius or Kane.
But he dropped Kane and Son. Is it too much a risk to not play either of them?
I think so.
It's too much of a risk.
I think so.
So you play one of them, you're saying?
I'll play one of them, yeah. I'll probably play Kane.
Yeah.
Kane got a 10-minute rest at the end. Sonny played 90 minutes. Give Son a rest. I'll play Kane up top. It's just so harsh on Vinicius. He's never going to play.
I know, but he said he was going to play in the Premier League. So I don't know, but when? We got too many important games.
Playing Arsenal, I'll tell you
that. He ain't playing Arsenal. He's going to play Villa. Maybe we'll play second leg if we're ahead.
Let's see what. Yeah, I mean,
if we're ahead, maybe we'll play second leg.
2-3-0 up, I think he'll play Vinicius in the second leg.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be very interesting. I'd be very interested to see his press conference on Wednesday. Harrison says, great result last night. I've been critical of Moura, but he hasn't been bad. But he wasn't bad last night. Thought on his position in the squad going forward. Yeah, we talked about that. I think this number 10 role for him is strong. And he's playing really well there, and he's providing definitely another option in that number 10 role, which we didn't think was possible, although what he could do. Evan, do you think we will take up the option of signing Vinicius on a permanent deal for 40 million? Probably not at the moment, but I do think that everyone says that because that's the price in his contract that we have to go for that. I do think that price is negotiable. I really do, because I think Benfica is struggling for money.
Oh right.
And I do think that we could haggle them down, but I wouldn't. I don't think 40 million is what we're spending at the moment.
No chance. To be honest, the max I'll spend on it is probably 10-15 million.
Yeah, we'll look for a good deal for him. That's all the tweets pretty much.
All right, so
we've seen. Anything else coming through?
I think that's all we got time for today anyway. But look, thank you everyone for joining us today. I just want to wish a big, happy International Women's Day to all you women out there, all you Spurs women. So a big, happy International Women's Day out there to all of you. Thank you everyone for joining us today. That was a good morning after show. One of the best ones I've enjoyed as well, waxing lyrical about Tottenham for an hour and a half. Hope you guys enjoyed it as well. We'll be back with our player ratings and 5 takeaways later on today. And thank you everyone for joining us. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always,
come on you Spurs.